Situated at the southernmost tip of the Zamboanga Peninsula, this highly urbanized center serves as a gateway to our Southeast Asian neighbors and an important economic hub to the rest of the islands in the region. With a total land area of more than 1.4 million square kilometers and a population of more than 850,000 as of 2010, Zamboanga City sits as the third largest city in terms of land area and sixth largest in population. However, if this is combined with the adjoining island provinces of Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi that collectively compose the urban network, the population that fuels this urbanized economy reaches close to 2.5 million people. Although these signs of development are promising factors, they also come with their own issues, with the main problem being a sustainable transportation system that can efficiently mobilize people and resources throughout the city. Like other developing centers, the transportation problem experienced in Zamboanga City is born out of a variety of factors that together culminate into traffic congestion, or more simply stated, as the inadequacy of the current road space to support the road traffic volume. These range from the road dimensions themselves, which dictate lane numbers and easy access of vehicles, driving behavior of motorists who generally do not exhibit proper road conduct, human and vehicular activity in the roadsides, which include overflow of pedestrian movements, improper loading and unloading activities, along with inefficient intersection management. Another major issue in Zamboanga's transportation system is the existence of a huge number of low-occupancy vehicles, which wastes a considerable amount of road space. For instance, the total number of registered motor vehicles in Zamboanga City as of 2005 was at 60,000 vehicles, of which 51,000 or 85% were privately owned. This increased to 62,000 privately owned vehicles, given a total of 72,000 last 2010, and the most recent survey of 2014 having over 84,000 vehicles, of which 76,000 or roughly 90% are privately owned. It has become evident that the annual growth rate of private vehicles is well above 4%, while that of public vehicles has reached a negative 0.7% growth rate. Coupling this with the average occupancy of 1.6 persons per private vehicle from the same research, the effects of this particular issue become more realized. In order to answer the existing traffic system issues of Zamboanga, certain strategic interventions can be employed. The first would be to improve traffic management operations while capitalizing on the current available road space. This is given that there are constraints with road widening solutions. Next would be dispersing urbanized activities to the city outskirts by means of providing the private sector with an enhanced road or transportation network. Lastly, the current public transport services would need to be remodeled and rationalized to satisfy the transportation requirements of an urbanized city. In order to properly assess the condition of Zamboanga City, along with ensuring that proper measures be carried out, the Department of Transportation have recognized the Local Government Unit, or LGU, as the most capable body given their awareness to the different urban, rural, and socio-economic activities in the region that they are part of. The latter was then tasked on preparing their own local public transport route plan, which will serve as a vital document for developing the comprehensive local transport plan for Zamboanga.
Introducing the preparation of the CTTMP, or the Comprehensive Transport and Traffic Management Plan for Zamboanga City. The CTTMP is envisioned to be a list of documents that collectively aim to solve the transportation issues of Zamboanga City. These documents consist of recommended transport and traffic management improvement projects that promote transit-oriented development, reduce private vehicle reliance, and yet are still environmentally sound and feasible solutions. The required components that will become the foundation of the CTTMP once it is finished include a proposed traffic code for the general public, an efficient local public transport route plan that can support both current and project demand, a smart shuttle or feeder service plan with accompanied routes and recommended fleet size, a clear pedestrianization plan for the central business district, a traffic impact assessment system protocol, and a public transport modernization plan. Once the components of the CTTMP have been constructed, Zamboanga can move on to the execution stage of the Transport Development Plan. The first key component in constructing the aforementioned documents is an extensive analysis on previously conducted researches about the traffic situation of Zamboanga City. Among these, the most rigorously conducted research would be the Comprehensive Land Use Plan, drafted for years 2016 to 2025. This document contains the existing transportation situation of the city, along with data results from numerous involved factors such as car-person ratio, classified vehicle count, and travel time. The document also proposes a variety of concrete methods that will have the greatest impact at alleviating the transport issue based on the gathered data. These proposed projects affect the existing infrastructure and transportation facilities in the land as well as the air and water. Let us take a closer look at each one. The existing transportation system of Zamboanga City can be categorized into two parts, namely the intra-urban sector and the interurban or provincial sector. The intra-urban transportation system, or more commonly known as the transportation methods within the city, is mostly land-based. This varies from the interprovincial system that links the city with the rest of Mindanao and the Philippines, being composed of not only a road network but also a port for water transport and an airport for aerial transport. Looking at an overview of the city's jurisdiction, the road network within the city consists of interconnected nationals and city roads, showing the abundance of socio-economic activities in the city proper, which translates to greater demand for mobilization, thus increasing the chances of traffic congestion. On the other hand, as one moves away from the city, the network changes into a single corridor national road in each direction. These highways, which compose the interurban or provincial land links of Zamboanga City to other neighboring cities, are less congested due to being outside the dense socio-economic activities in the city proper. A more detailed analysis on the traffic situation within the city would reveal not only private vehicles being an issue, but the current land transport services as well. The concentration of the city's daily traffic volume usually occurs at Gov. Camins Road and Vitalian Agan Avenue. The main factors responsible for this are likely the public utility vehicles that frequent the establishment KCC Mall at the Zamboanga and Zamboanga City Public Market, located nearby. In fact, around 2,000 public utility jeepneys or 97% of Zamboanga City registered PUJs include the Zamboanga City Public Market as their route. Furthermore, another factor contributing to the traffic volume would be the dominance of tricycles within the road. Albeit their low passenger accommodation, they have become preferred models given their flexibility in passing through unpaved or narrow roads. This mode of public transportation has the most number of registered units among the public vehicles, with a total of more than 6,500 tricycles, of which roughly 95% travel within the city. Cumulatively, both the land transport services along with private vehicles contribute to the existing traffic situation in the city. This can be best observed through the main road links which most of the traffic is directed to. These include national roads such as Veterans Avenue, Mayor Climaco or Mayor Haldon Road, RT Lim Road, General Ramos Road, Baliwasan C. Lobregat Highway, and San Jose Road. Travel time routes along these 6 major corridors were surveyed to determine whether they exhibited the 30 km per hour minimum for ideal traffic conditions. Furthermore, traffic data was collected from the 9 major intersections and the following road sections through traffic performance indicators such as volume capacity ratio. Lastly, road dimensions were also measured in order to determine the percentages of the road's accommodation capacity. The data results were shocking. While the 30 km per hour is the ideal speed in urban roads, 25 or even 20 kilometers per hour is still considered tolerable. However, the highest average speed is the westbound direction at RT Lim Road, with an average of 19.7 kilometers per hour. Majority of the roads barely scrape the 15 kilometers per hour mark, which is half of the ideal 30 kilometers per hour for urban roads. Together, their total median average amounts to a little bit over 13 kilometers per hour, which implies a serious case of traffic congestion in terms of average speed. This is further supported by the data observed in the 9 major road sections using the volume capacity ratio. Simply stated, the volume capacity ratio compares the traffic volume of a road in peak hours to the overall road capacity. The results show that the majority of the road sections as well as the inner roads become more congested during peak hours, exhibiting VC ratios of more than 0.85 with some major roads hitting well over the 1 value mark. While the conclusion remains the same, that factors such as land transport services combined with increasing vehicle count competing over scarce road space creates traffic congestion, the data backing these claims provides useful information in deciding a course of action to alleviate the traffic issue. This constitutes the second part of the document, which is a list of proposed projects that, based on the gathered data, will have the biggest impact on solving the traffic problem in Zamboanga City. The land use plan includes a variety of proposed solutions that target key points in Zamboanga's current transportation system. But these can be categorized into 3 parts. These are the land transport component, which discusses improved road construction and land transport remodeling, the air transport component, which aims to decongest passenger traffic within the city and hopefully expand the central business district of Zamboanga, and lastly, the water transport component, which seeks to develop Zamboanga as a catalyst for agri-industrial development by connecting its port to that of the nearby ASEAN countries such as Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia. For the land transport component, the main proposal is to continue the unfinished bypass road that would provide an alternative and efficient connection between the city's east and west coasts. Furthermore, in order to promote the convenience of the bypass road and ensure that more people will benefit from it, it is recommended that it passes through the different barangays. Not only will this make it easily accessible, but it will also allow for economic activities to be dispersed to the northern region of the city. Through this, the major intersection within the city center would experience less congestion given that passing through the city would be unnecessary to cross from the east to the west or vice versa. The plan for the bypass alignment is that it will pass from the westernmost part of the city at Barangay Patalon down to Barangay Malagutay, which continues to Barangay Kabatangan until the center of the city known as Barangay Pasonanca. Afterwards, the bypass will continue in a northeastern direction through Barangay Culianin to complete the highway. The final plan length is at estimated 39.2 kilometers. Furthermore, 3 lateral roads will be constructed in the center of the bypass that will link it to the existing road network of the central Zamboanga city. This will allow vehicles to exit the city much faster and further promote interurban or provincial travel. Another method to decongest traffic within the city is to separate intra-urban transit or transport within the city and interurban or provincial transit or transport from the city towards the provinces. A major breakthrough that supports the rationalization of this proposal is the already established integrated bus terminal, located 10.5 kilometers from the city center. This creates a major interface point from the inter-provincial bus routes that link the city to other provinces and interurban services that move within the city. By developing on these interface points, provincial transport need not be counted towards the city's vehicle count, which in turn eases the urban traffic situation in Zamboanga City. Aside from this, other proposals are also brought for consideration. For aviation transport, there is already an existing proposal to transfer the Zamboanga International Airport from its current location at Barangay Baliwasan at the southeastern part to Barangay Mercedes at the eastern part of Zamboanga. This conclusion was based off from the criteria by Singapore Consortium's feasibility study on this matter. Transferring the airport to the outskirts of the city not only decongest passenger traffic brought about by the activity of the airport, but also develop other areas as well. As for the old airport, the proposal recommends that the land will be used to expand the central business district and provide the city with regional scale service center. While feasibility studies show that the existing airport is still good for 10 years, the plan has already been submitted to NEDA with the following specifications in order to ensure a smooth transition from the old airport to the new one. For the water transport component, it is proposed to establish Zamboanga City as the major water transport gateway with the other ASEAN countries. This can be established by turning, giving Zamboanga City a special economic and free port zone. Not only will this serve as a catalyst for agricultural and industrial development, but the existing linkages with other provinces will allow the rest of Western Mindanao to experience collective economic development. Feasibility studies have already been established this proposal to be economically viable, especially since Zamboanga City has already had an enormous contribution to the socio-economic development to itself and nearby regions.
While majority of the proposals show promise, the data backing their feasibility are still fairly incomplete or unstable. This is where the components of the CTT-MP come in. After conducting a thorough re-evaluation of all the previously stated data, research must be conducted on future demands and together, to what extent the proposals will affect the future traffic situation of Zamboanga City. This will be accomplished through identifying critical bottlenecks in established transport infrastructure and formulating hypotheses on possible bottlenecks in the future. The proposals will then be ranked to determine the priorities of each one. These will constitute the long-term and medium-term goals for the urban transport system. The present Land Comprehensive Use Plan will also be refined according to any future findings while the CTT-MP is being constructed. The construction of the CTT-MP will take 7 months from the starting point to be decided by the mayor. After this, the steps to remodel the transportation system of Zamboanga City will become concretized. Zamboanga City carries a lot of potential for economic development, but as of now, only part of this potential has been realized due to the issues in its transportation system. However, the LGU has taken appropriate actions by determining which areas of the system will have the greatest impact on the overall result and prioritizing construction and improvement of those areas. Once the CTT-MP is finished, the steps to remodeling Zamboanga City can begin, allowing it to experience a period of unprecedented economic growth. This can become the perfect opportunity to experience the golden age of Zamboanga City.